Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Returning Home podcast, hosted by yours truly, Lin Lim. And in today's episode, we're going to be talking about the many mysteries of our universe, of our reality. Did we plan our lives? Did we not plan our lives? Do we live in a simulation? Is this all a holographic projection of some sort of plan? That's what we're going to dive deep into today. And if that's something that you love to learn more about, then stay around. So before I start this episode, I just want to say this episode is by no means the truth of everything. My intention is to just allow ourselves to wonder about the many mysteries in the universe, which has fascinated me for years. And I'm pretty sure that if it fascinates me, it fascinates you, because like attracts like. If you've been watching my content, if you've been listening to the podcast, welcome, of course. I'm grateful that you're here. And I know that these are the things that you wonder about as well. What does our universe consist of? What is reality even? How does it all work together? And so that's something that we're going to talk about today, and just allow ourselves to open up to the many mysteries in the universe. I would love to hear from you, by the way. If you're tuning in from YouTube, leave a comment and share, what do you believe about our reality, about the simulation, the matrix, all of these things. I'd love to hear from you. And before we dive into it, I'm just sitting inside today. I've wondered to go somewhere but to record this episode, but actually I thought, it's been raining a lot here, and I've never really recorded an episode, a podcast within our homestay. There is actually a very nice painting behind me of two Balinese women dancing, but of course my head is fully covering it. And so that's just a little bit about the setup for today. Apart from that, I fell on my shoulder last week with surfing. So if you wonder why my shoulder looks so shiny, it's because I just put some cream onto it and help it to heal nicely. So that's just a little bit of the context today. Talking about reality and moving through challenges. If you've been watching my previous episodes, you know that I'm currently going through a healing journey, and that it isn't always easy, and maybe you can relate. Maybe you're going through your spiritual awakening and you're doing a lot of spiritual growth, healing, integration work. You know that life can sometimes feel a little bit overwhelming. You can feel a little bit delicate or sensitive. And that's definitely something that I've been feeling over the last, it's not been entire months, these last couple of months, but it's been up and down. And sometimes it's just super freaking challenging to go through this spiritual awakening journey. Some people talk about awakening as if it's the prettiest thing in the world. And, going through a spiritual awakening, it definitely isn't always like that. The more that we awaken to all of ourselves, to our full potential, to our higher selves, the more light we basically let into our being, the more our darkness will be illuminated, the more darkness we're going to face and let go of. And so it's just not easy. It is not easy. And sometimes within that healing journey, it can feel like you're really in it. There are moments, and let me know if you resonate with this, where I'm very aware of like, I chose to come to planet Earth. I chose to experience all of this. These people that are around me right now are all creations that I basically co-created with the universe to allow me to have this experience. And you know, it's really trippy when you have these moments. Like, I have these moments a lot. And that's where you kind of, I feel like you zoom out from being a human and being really human in this life and experience everything as in a linear way. And that's when you kind of allow yourself to look behind that reality and see what it actually is. And I'm saying actually as if that's the truth of it all. But, you know, I do believe that we choose to come here. I do believe that there is an afterlife and there are many different dimensions, and we carefully design our lives, co-create it with our guides, the universe, before we come here, all based on vibrational frequency. We design the path that's most beneficial to our growth, to what it is that we're going to give to the world, because ultimately I do believe that there's something that we give when we come here. There's something that we give. You could also call it your soul mission, your purpose, your higher purpose. And there's a lot that you get from being here, which is your spiritual evolution journey, your spiritual growth. And when you kind of wake up from that, or when you look behind that experience of this human linear experience of like, oh, I'm in it and this is all happening in my life right now, and it kind of feels overwhelming. And then you look behind the curtain and you're like, just experiencing all of this, it's number one, very trippy. It's a trippy experience because it all feels so real. And I'm not saying that it's not real, but I'm saying that it is kind of an epic. I'm just feeling my hands right now because even that, you know, just feeling all these physical things is like, if this is all a creation of between us and the universe and God, it is a freaking amazing creation, isn't it? It's probably the most genius, I don't know how else to call it, the genius theater that was created for a spiritual growth journey. And talking about simulation, right? I think it's just so interesting that when you start to kind of allow your mind to expand into all these concepts of different dimensions, and not only concepts, because, you know, I'm calling it a concept, but I do believe that those dimensions and those frequencies and those realities are even more real than just being in our physical body. I know that a lot of people who have had, for example, a near-death experience, or people who astral project or astral travel, or people who have had mystical out-of-body experiences, they often refer to those experiences as it feels more real than the reality, the physical reality that we live. So I think that's just a very interesting thing to allow ourselves to expand in. And when you think about the fact that we only perceive a tiny percentage of the entire electric magnetic frequencies that are out there, then it means that there is just so much that we don't even see. When you wonder about what is real, what is reality, and you think about the fact that we only see a tiny, tiny percentage of everything that exists, then the reality that we experience is just so limited. And for us to think that that is all that there is, I wouldn't say that it's ignorant, of course, that's not the right word, but sometimes I feel that it's difficult to find the right words for those things. Let me just say there's so much that we don't know about. There was somebody that I heard about online who said something like black matter, right? There is so much black matter, and scientists aren't quite sure what black matter is. Like, what is it? It's nothing. And somebody had this theory that black matter was just the electromagnetic frequencies that we aren't capable of perceiving, meaning that we cannot see, we cannot perceive what that actually is, and all the different dimensions are basically based within black matter. Now, I thought that was a super interesting theory. You know, I'm just throwing it in there because I think that it kind of helps us to allow, or these kind of facts that was not a fact, but the fact that we can only see such a small amount of electromagnetic frequencies, that we can only perceive just a tiny percentage of all the electromagnetic frequencies that are around, just helps us to open up to the ideas of maybe all that I perceive isn't all or the entire picture of everything that exists. And I'm not saying that our challenges or our reality is less valid because of that. You know, we're here for a reason. We're only perceiving this tiny amount of electromagnetic frequency or this piece of reality because we're supposed to. We're meant to only experience that part of reality, that part of existence. But it kind of opens the door to all the mysteries that are out there. Extraterrestrial life, different dimensions, higher and lower dimensional beings, parallel realities, all these kind of things. There are some people who say that the moon is hollow, that the moon is, you know, not what it looks like. And again, you know, I think that we don't immediately have to take in all of those information, and there is a much more that's being said. But I just want to drop or kind of these questions in our mind of questioning everything that we see, questioning everything that we perceive. NASA has already found a lot of planets that are Earth-like. I believe the planet is called Kepler. If you want to look it up, you'll find it. It's really, really amazing. But yeah, there is so much in the universe that we don't know about. And for us, I think, you know, spirituality, to me at least, it's getting to know ourselves, getting to know the energetic form of ourselves fully, becoming one with that. And through becoming one with that, opening ourselves up to the truth behind it all, to get to know Source, to get to know God, to get to know love. Some people say that we live in a simulation of light. And we've been suppressed for long, long times by a certain species on our planet. And because we're moving into higher frequencies, we're starting to see who we actually are, what kind of reality we actually live in. And we start to wake up to our divine truth. And I think just in the theme of feeling that so much change is around, I don't know if you can feel it, but there is a lot in the previous years and going on right now. I feel like a lot is shifting energetically. Sometimes there are days that I feel like something big is coming, but I don't know what it is. I feel like something is happening, something is changing, something is shifting, something is happening beneath the surface, and I don't really know what it is. Sometimes I feel like the whole journey that I'm going through right now, this healing journey, this journey of awakening and expanding and allowing myself to create videos like this and share it with the world, it all has to do with this very beautiful, transformative time that we're moving through as a collective. And even though I feel like something has been super quiet over these last couple of months, I don't know if you can feel that. Let me know if you can feel it. I feel that something is coming. Something is emerging. And I know it's going to be for the better. In my YouTube videos, I always say that we have a beautiful future to look forward to, even if it doesn't seem like it right now. And I say that for a reason. Because sometimes when we're moving through challenges, sometimes when we think that we perceive all of our reality, when we look or peek behind the curtain of this theater that we live in, this grand, beautiful, challenging, heartbreaking, heartwarming, ever expanding play that we're living in, we kind of see that there's a whole divine plan that's all behind this. And there's a lot more to what we're moving through right now in this moment. Nothing ever is a coincidence. Your awakening journey, your healing journey is happening at exactly the right time. And there's a reason for everything. Whether you know that consciously or whether you don't, I think that if you're watching this episode, you clicked on it for a reason, because deep down in your soul, you know this, you resonate with that. And whatever you're moving through, whatever reality is for you right now, it is all a piece of the puzzle of this grand play that we're witnessing and contributing to in this very moment throughout all space, dimensions, and time. And I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to leave it at what I've shared thus far. I feel like this episode has been a little bit all over the place. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah. I'm a little bit in like different realities and dimensions right now. And it's okay. I'm allowing that to happen. And I invite you to allow those things to happen as well. And fully own that kind of weird sense of reality as we're moving through those phases in our lives. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you have liked this episode, please like this episode, share this episode with anyone who you think could benefit from this message right now. Let me know in the comments, what is your perspective on our reality? What do you feel that we're moving through right now? How have you been feeling throughout these years, throughout these phases? What has been emerging? What has been collapsing? I am very, very curious to hear from you and to get to know you. And of course, check out my Lightwork merchandise if you haven't already. If you want to further support my journey in putting out content for free every single week. And most importantly, if you want to share a message of love, light, positivity, and awakening with the world through wearing this merchandise, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new here and haven't already done so that you can be the first to watch all of the episodes every Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and so that you can create your best life. Thank you so much for tuning in. Keep growing, keep expanding, and keep being your beautiful self. I'm looking forward to see you in the next one. Bye for now.